Everything's okay. All right. Elsie, you're good. We're good. He's watching cat video while he's recording. So hi, well, hello everyone. Gonna try not to just stand there, but yeah. So my name is Stacy Verno. I'm a senior customer solution architect at Badal. It's a part of TELUS Network and TELUS Business, but mainly that's where I work. That's one thing. I'm the organizer. Well, one of the organizers now. I have two co-organizers of GDG Cloud Montreal, which is Google Developer Group Cloud Montreal. So of course, it's like a meetup, but specific to Google Cloud. So everything we talk about is around the Google Cloud ecosystem. And I've been playing with Google Cloud, called myself an enthusiast versus like a fanboy, since 2015. So been using it for a while. And the goal today, basically, like was mentioned, there was a bunch of events like Google I/O happened. Before that, there was Google Cloud Next in Vegas. There's a bunch of announcements that was there. Since within the extended family of everything Google with Flutter and GDG Montreal, also more on the dev side, but like let's kind of mix the events together. That's what we tried to do. So I just raised my hand and said, "Yep, we can. I can tackle this part." So the idea today is just go through, and this is going to be a high level, going through all those topics. So like infrastructure, the AI models, the AI platform, and agents. Of course, you have to talk about agents if you're talking about AI, database security, and some extras. As I've built this deck, like anything else, especially if you're doing a deck on AI, it's like you finish a slide and there's already something wrong about it because they changed it and there's something new. So trying to keep it current. So we'll, and I'll also like be mindful of the time. I realize that I am the blocker between you and the pizza. So want to be, so want to keep it, I want to bore you to sleep. Uh, so I wanted to start with everything that's infrastructure. Well, not everything, but like basically the announcements. So what was new in Google Cloud from I/O and Next that was announced? Like, of course, when you're running AI models or you want to train your own models, you need the horsepower to do that. So at Next, they announced the Ironwood TPU, which is that tensor processing unit. So that's where it's, let's say, purpose-built chipset whose sole purpose is to actually like train your model. So when we think about really machine learning, not just like Gemini or stuff like that, but real machine learning, writing your own models, and trying to do that intelligence decisioning, and then you need something to train that model. Usually, you'll have a TPU or more than one in the back end. So they've announced their latest one, which is more AI focused, and also usually TPU equals a massive amount of dollars when you run it. So kind of be like smart and intelligent, and also say cost conscious when you actually train your models. They've announced, and this is again like this is a use case that's really not for everybody, but it's just something that's interesting for anybody who's working inside like a bigger corporation. They've announced Gemini on Google Distributed Cloud. What is Google Distributed Cloud? Just think about it is that you have a rack of Google stuff sent by Google inside your data center, and you're able to run specific services locally. And Google is your ops team. But now they brought Gemini on-prem. If you're an insurance company, if you're a bank, and you want to leverage Gemini as a model, and you want to be able to leverage it inside your own data center without sending anything to the cloud, you're now able to do that with Gemini in GDC. Again, it's a really specific use case. Most people, they're just fine with just sending their data and doing their thing, which is fine. But this is something that was announced, and a big shift in say, okay, now I can actually just bring this on-prem. Also talk about Cloud WAN. Just basically, you can read it, and it's recorded also. But the idea is that, let's say I have a core data center of a big office, let's say a bank with 25 branches everywhere, but I want to connect them leveraging Google's network. The Cloud WAN is basically this, is like an SDN powered by Google that you can just say, hey, I want to bring this, and this rule there, and everything is done it's not magical, but you're able to leverage the actual network of Google to make those connections to all your endpoints, and having the backbone of Google, the back, like it's when we say like the amount of traffic that's on the internet and what the amount of traffic Google's network is able to ingest, like okay, well, most of the times like time 10. So then you have access to this backbone to be able to connect your offices and all that. So that was just covering the infrastructure, and again, being mindful of time. Want to talk about like the AI models and everything that was announced, but with Google, everything was rebranded around Gemini. You have it on your phone. If you're if you're an Android user, it's there with Gemini Nano. You'll have also like the Pro version, the Flash version, and the Lite version. The Pro version is really where you can do hardcore math. You can do like you can code. I'm using it on a daily basis with an option that's called Canvas, which is basically me working with AI to update something that I want in a document, but nonstop. So it doesn't like regenerate or anything. It's actually reiterating on something that's static. Say, okay, I need I don't know, like I need something for a presentation. Let's start to iterate on this. I don't like this, make this shorter, change the tone. You're all able to do that, but it's done through 2.5 Pro because of the context window also. I need something that can process that. So that's Pro. There's also like the Flash version. So Flash version is something where all your small stuff, like you need like summarize this, generate an image. If you ask for image generation on Gemini, everything's going to be done through Flash because it's going to process, then upload to like Imagen or VO, which are those like specific models that are purpose built to that. But of course, Pro and Flash, the thing, Flash is way cheaper. Like I don't want to use like if I say, oh yeah, well, I don't know, like here's my resume. Give me pointers how to make it better. Maybe your resume is a page. Use Flash. Pro is going to be more expensive. Of course, if you pay for the subscription, you don't care. You're just going to use 2.5 Pro all the time. But I mean, if you're actually making an API call and you're going to be billed on actually the call you're making, being mindful of which model you're talking to makes a big difference. That's why there's also like Flashlight, not Flash like a flashlight, but Flashlight, which is basically super fast and even like cheaper. So if you have like really like a small prompt that's going to return a small output, going with Flashlight is perfect. You can leverage that. Also, Flashlight has been used right now with some other tools at Google for upcoming ways of changing the way we, like when you make a prompt, the decision comes to like the output to make it even more efficient. So it's a super fast and super efficient model. That's also GA as of like last week or the week before. So there's a few things also like this Gemini is everywhere, but there's other things we can leverage within the Google ecosystem and on Google Cloud in terms of model. One of them is Lyria. So it's basically like text to music. You have a prompt, like write a song about blah 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 blah. So it's gonna start so that like I wrote like a super dumb prompt, and if the audio works, you'll be able to listen, and you're gonna be stuck with that song in your head. It's just music, but my prompt is just like, I want a polka team demo reel for, like I want something for an event, FlutterMtl. So I want basically a mix of polka and dubstep, which is like, I don't know why we would mix the two together. It doesn't make sense. But I mean, whoops, sorry about that. You're able to ask this and you get something like this. So it's, yeah, exactly. For your next Christmas party, be mindful. let's stop it though. Okay, so okay, cool. So you're able to do that, but that's something that like that's just like me playing dumb and having a prompt there. But it's something that's also a possibility, like meaning that okay, like maybe I want to change the waiting time, like the waiting song, like please is like you're on hold, like please stay on hold, you know, blah blah blah. Then like music starts, you're actually able to generate music on demand if you want to. You also have the possibility, if I actually click here, it'd actually be better. Do I need to go back there? All right. We also have Chirp. So Chirp Tree. is basically synthesizing a voice. You can pick up the tone you want, the speaker. You can even now provide your own voice, and then you just prompt for what you want it to say, and it's going to say it. So, okay, fine, but at least you're able to, again, in the context of again, like a call center or anything else.
Welcome to this Flutter Montreal event co-hosted by
You're
GDG
able
Montreal
to,
and GDG Cloud
in the flow,
Montreal.
be able to
Big
like
thanks
send
to
a
David from
message
Montreal
based on
for hosting us.
based on a prompt and something, and send it back. But then this is generated in the back end. So if you have like an entire flow of a call center, like you're able to leverage this to, again, automate processes. The only thing I said there was just pasted exactly what I wanted. You can change the tone. Like I have a selection of 20 speakers, French, English, and then there's other 22 languages that are supported. So it allows you to do a lot on the voice side. Of course, there's also, and we saw some of them lately with the video generation. So there's not a big surprise. There's VO2. That was announced. That one is funny because VO2 was announced at Google Cloud Next, which is basically what, April, if I'm not mistaken. And then I/O came after, and they announced VO3. That okay, this is like 2 months, 3 months, not even 3 months. So VO2 said, okay, well, like give me like a golden retriever fetching data packets from the cloud. Looks like he's more like sick of something. I don't know what he ate. But that's the generation. So I said, okay, well, let's go with VO3, like 2 months after. I have audio, I have the dog. It's the same prompt. I just changed the model. So okay, so the evolution of those models and is quite nice. But now you're able to make them talk, not just bark, and give them like a proper prompt, and then you get proper context. Define your context. Like a Montrealer talks about all the orange construction cone in Montreal. Blah, blah, big surprise. And then you get a video.
If you live in Montreal, you know how crazy it is with all the orange cones.
And then you have Coney, our new mascot.
We have a new mascot. Meet Coney.
So just like with this prompt, and you were asking me like, how do you get like are you able to get those? The idea is to, and I don't want to digress, but like you can use another AI model to help you write a proper prompt, right? So so that's the thing. It's like, give me an idea, clean my idea, which is a mess, but make it efficient in a way that I'll get my output. So that's basically what I've been doing. So another of the models is Imagen. So Imagen 3, which is like text to image, pretty straightforward. You're able to create like photorealistic. Like I want basically an image of a server rack blooming with flowers, which is the nightmare of any guy working in a data center. So okay, so I get the output. It's fine. With Imagen 3, they brought what they call in-painting and out-painting. If you ever played with Photoshop or anything, you have layers. You can stretch the canvas, you can do your thing. Kind of the same thing. So same prompt, I just continue saying, no, but can you add like an hummingbird, like with that's feeding of a network cable. And then so that's still good. And then take this and do an out painting where it's like, okay, my original image, my second image still hasn't changed. I'm doing an out painting, which is stretching the output and putting everything in a cornfield, because why not? So I'm able to do that. So again, like the idea is to showcase the models. Like say, okay, we could do this. It's all good. So okay, maybe I can do that on my phone. But the idea is also to think that everything you're doing now, if you bring that, let's say, in the context of a job, can be done through API calls, can be done through workflows. So okay, like we need to generate this, maybe we have a catalog of images, but that we need, based on feedback, maybe we need this new model of handbag available or new backpack. And then you just take this and have the image generate everything for you. But like I've mentioned, Imagen 3 was announced, but then 4 was announced like 2 months after. And the same prompt gives me a way more realistic, actually, server rack. Okay, so again, it's just to demonstrate that like this is a 2-month step. Maybe like Imagen 5 will happen within well, everybody's on vacation, so like in September, they'll come back, but the pace is like super fast. And then from Imagen, I also have the possibility of going from a static image to an actual video. Say, take this, make it move, And then you're able to do that through something called Media Studio. So if you're inside the Google Cloud Console itself, if you're in the AI section, there's a space called Media Studio. You can actually start playing with your images. You can do the outpainting. You can work with images and actually get some stuff out. And this will actually take and make the flowers bloom just by saying, have the flowers bloom. So it understands, it keeps everything, and it just makes everything move. Like I said, like we saw a lot of, like everybody's on their phone, and there's always some new AI stuff and everything. So, but it's always nice to know, it's like, what about all of this? Yes, I have it on my phone, but that's personal. If I switch my context to work, this is available also, but through the Google Cloud Platform itself. And to tie like most of this up, there's some, I was mentioning the API, you have the AI API, which sole purpose is basically to take API calls of text, audio, and video between an application and the API itself and be able to process those, talk about a call center. Yes? Don't know. I don't know. That's something that, what, for the live API or the, something I can check with our Google friends since I chat with them on a regular basis. So yeah, so with the live API, you're able to actually like do this, get a WebSocket. And people say, yeah, can we do something else? This is a great way of like bringing all of those functions, like the voice, the audio, the text all together, but in a workflow, which is where you're actually going to live if you work. Like nobody's going to go and say, oh, I need this, then they're going to the interface. No, everything's going to be like, there's going to be a process, going to be a workflow, it's going to be a pipeline, and everything's going to be there. So talk about AI. So of course, there's no way of talking about AI without talking about AI agents, because like that's everything. Just want to give you an idea of like what's happening. Of course, the agents, like say, like they're the doers, but they're chilling out in the lounge somewhere. But in the agent, let's say catalog of everything that's happening within Google Cloud, and kind of segueing into, I was keep mentioning the call center for like the flows and everything. The Google Cloud Customer Engagement Suite is basically that entire ecosystem. I say, hey, I want to create a workflow with agent. It may start with a call, but then I need to make a call to Zendesk. I need to make a call to Salesforce. I need to make all that. But all of this through that platform allows you to make those connections. And in a low-code approach, while staying within the ecosystem and the platform itself, which makes actually like the teams work faster because it's actually like tailor-made to make those connections for you. Go.
Is it related to Agent Space?
Well, agent space is you'll have it in the customer engagement suite, because that's where you're going to be able to do like either like agent search also and all that. So with it, that same envelope of umbrella of services, it falls within the that same category. So we have we also have like the what do we call like agent builder, which is basically helps you build your agents. So you'll have the ADK, which is the agent development kit. So like your SDK tailored for agent, you just install it, then you're able to do your thing. You have the Vertex AI agent engine, which is basically allows you to run. For those who know, I feel it's maybe you'll. It's like a app engine for agents. I'm not, anyway. Like I don't work for Google, so I'm not a fan of what I've tested so far. But hey, I don't work for them. So and then there's the A2Agent protocol, which is actually, this is great. Like the A2A protocol has been open, given to the Linux Foundation. So everybody, like let's say all the major players are actually using it. So you have agents talking to each other. They can leverage that A2A protocol. And of course, within the entire agent space, there's no way we can talk about agents without talking about MCP. Which is the Model Context Protocol. So if A2A protocol is where agents can talk to each other within the defined boundaries. Let's say if I don't know, like I just did a pull request and it got approved. My agents work that for me, but when the PR is there, I have a smart light at home, and then somebody approves my PR, I want it to blink. You could leverage MCP actually to make that call. So when my PR is accepted, make the call through MCP as a bridge that's going to connect to, let's say, my smart light system and actually have them flash. So that's where within that entire ecosystem of agents, you'll hear A2A way more often now since it's open and given to the community. And MCP, well, it's that bridge. So put together, it's a super strong toolkit for anybody who wants to deploy agents. Oh, there you go. Yeah. It's basically it's the way this is the way it's done. Let's say my user experience and the performance of what was ran inside felt like it's half baked. That's basically it's like we're say you needed to put something out, you put it there. You should have maybe waited another sprint or two. It felt like they say, okay, it's like it, and I did some labs also like through the partner ecosystems. Like, okay.
So, don't you have like security issues with integration with MCP? Because we tried the integration and there's no authorization basically. You have to get OAuth 2.1 with user consent in order to.
Yes, that's the only way. Then that's why they allowed like let's say the A2A and the MCP bridge to happen together, because OAuth was actually implemented within MCP. Before that, Google was not talking about like MCP as some things like, yeah, you can do it on your own. We're not officially supporting it. Now with the latest release of MCP, with the support of proper authentication and control, yes. So if you want to go down that path, you have to go with the latest ones. So talk about like agent space earlier on. Agent space with also like the more like the customer-centric space gives you multiple kind of neat little tools. You're able to build your own agent with pseudo no code. Like you're actually telling agents with Agent Designer what you want the agents to do, and it's going to do it for you. Like anything, no code or vibe coding, you're also creating technical debt as you write it, but that's another debate. And within the entire agent space, also like they have the Chrome search bar integration, where you'll see some demos where basically you're in your browser, and let's say you're connected at Home Depot customer support, and then on the side you have an agent that's actually interacting with you directly there, is able to integrate inside your browser, the same way we saw with Claude, with able to. So let's actually fill in stuff from Salesforce. That's something that's also there, but it's available for specific customers.
One thing to mention for that, it's hard to get in. It's in beta access.
Yeah.
Per user per year.
So it's a real business use case, but you need to have well, talk to your Google rep. That's basically he's the one who's gonna get you in. Of course there were some like we went through the AI stuff. There was some more like down to earth stuff. Everything needs to be stored somewhere, right? So even if it's in memory. So on the database side, BigQuery is let's call it the data warehouse on the GCP side. Like that's where your data lake is going to end up cleaned up and running there. So, but also like anything else, it's coming more and more a data to AI platform, meaning that it's not like magical in the way that crap data is going to become awesome data. It's getting there. You still sometimes need a proper ETL job, like to transform everything and like clean it up. But we're at a point where somebody who has like pseudo okay data will actually be able to bring it over and have it clean in a way that's like, okay, we just shaved like 3 weeks of work with those new integration. And of course, anything else on the Cloud SQL side of things, all that, like you have like Gemini baked in. So if you want to have, let's say you have a query, you want to understand exactly what's going on, you're able to select the query, say, explain this, and it's going to tell you exactly what's going on. And if you want to change something, say, well, I need to have changed the insert for blah, blah, blah. So you go just natural language. It can actually insert and update the query for you properly without problem. So Everybody is there, like, well, BigQuery. So like everybody, and the only guy there is Oracle. Is the one that's it's the one that's never happy. So and again, like being just to be mindful of the time, security, which is something we always get back to security, right? Like we've mentioned the MCP part, the agent part. All these agents are able to do a bunch of stuff everywhere. Say, okay, cool, yeah. Well, what about the controls? Like, if the agent is able to act on my GitHub repo, I want to make sure it actually acts only on the stuff that I want it to act. So that's not just control inside the platform where, let's say, the agent runs, but also like what key or token or federation mechanism I put in GitHub to prevent the agent for saying, hey, you know what, your repo like sucks, I just wiped it out. So thank you. But security is super important. So within Google Cloud itself, on the security front, there is, of course, security agents and also Gemini that's baked in, meaning that, let's say you're a security team and there is an incident, you're not necessarily like a security guru who understands everything. You're actually able to leverage AI on security event to get an explanation, to get remediation. Sometimes also the AI itself on the security side will, with the time, say, by the way, like this is like, there's a new pattern coming in and you should actually block it. You want me to do it? Yes. Okay, boom. Here's the rule. You want me to apply it? Yes. So you're able to have the AI work for you. So that's the thing. In a market where either we shift quick with new AI solution and companies who still need great security teams, but ramping up a security engineer is not a small task. Like you need to understand everything. But if AI is able to make the progression from there to there, so okay, cool. I can go natural language and get the same output. Cool. If you work with security, you have to deal with Yara L. It's a nightmare to write. But if you can go from natural language to Yara, cool. I don't have to, it's not that you don't have to learn it, but still, it just accelerates everything with you. So that's something that's within the security realm. One of the tools, and of course, like this is not like the GCP meetup, but one of the main tools for security, which is your dashboard of security, is called Security Command Center, or SCC. And Security Command Center has a plethora of tools, but one of them, keeping in mind the AI context, is called Model Armor. So if you can define guidelines about like the way you expect your model to behave. If anything weird happens or deviates from a baseline you've identified, you can actually have Model Armor either take action or notify you, and actually give you, I don't know, like somebody poisoned the well. If you do AI, there's clean data somewhere. For some reason, some engineer was able to access some of that data and inserted data that's not valid for the AI to train into. It may actually get deviation or like weird behavior from the AI model itself. Model Armor will be able to pick those up based on your baseline that you've defined and actually allow you to get notified and act before. If it's internal, say, yeah, it's not that bad. But imagine if it's actually serving a chatbot that's public and it start sending weird stuff it's not supposed to, or even like capture things they're not supposed to. Like, I don't know, like not so long ago, you wanted to talk to support, you filled a form. Name, first name, last name, email, blah, blah, blah. Fields were defined, all good. Now we're actually going with a chatbot most of the time for support. And the fact that there's no defined fields, people felt compelled to give extra information that nobody asked for. Here's my social security number. I don't want it. Because if you gave it to me, I'm stuck with it. Then I need to have something that's actually prevent all of that sensitive information to get to my model and to get to my data. Model Armor is something that can help you with that also. All right, not bad. I talk fast, so. It's recorded, you can play it back at 0.75x if you want to. So I was mentioning as I was doing this, there was always like new stuff popping up. I said, okay, like you want to redo your slide, just want to like give your 2 cents and kind of cover everything. So I put everything like the extra, and also the next talk also will cover some of them. And it goes within tooling. So Anybody use Notebook LM here? Raise your hand. A few. Cool. All right. So basically, Notebook LM is it's like a thinking partner, but it's also like an intern, but that's actually working with the data you gave it. So basically, think about having, I don't know, the way I'm using it. There was an AI certification by Google that came out not so long ago. Prep material was light, but there was a bunch of PDFs and everything. So okay, but there's no like really test exam and everything. Take all those PDFs, put some links from like all the services online, put all of this within Notebook LM and ask him to generate 50 question random quizzes for me to train myself on, but based on data that I provided. So it's a great way to do research paper, or you want to stay within the within the context you're working on. Notebook LM is a great partner to work with. You get insights on your data. You're able to cite the sources. Like I'm prompting something, it's telling me, oh yeah, like the answer is blah blah blah, but it came from, here's the source. Like it always validates itself. And the one thing that's nice with it also is that you're able to take, let's say, the output of everything that was done, or there's an hour and 20-minute video of the GGG Cloud Next 25 recap in French. And say, well, yeah, man, I suck in French. Can I get the TLDR in a podcast format from Notebook LM itself? So in that case, you're able to give him the podcast link, and it's gonna start summarizing thing. Is it working?
Welcome back to the deep dive. If you've ever tried to keep up with the sheer volume of announcements pouring
all
out of
created
major
by,
tech
it's like two
conferences,
podcasters were
Google
talking
Cloud
to each
Next
other. So, but it's
25,
based on
recently lit up Las Vegas.
it went through the entire video on
it's less like
YouTube
drinking from a fire
and
hose
summed it
more
up
like trying to
in
catch water from
17
a
minutes
It
in
truly
English.
is. Every
It
year,
doesn't care about
these
the source
events
language.
just pack so much in, defining what's next in cloud and AI.
So you're able to, if you're on the go, it's a great way to go about it. Also, I've mentioned that a lot of time for the people. Put your link, like if you're on LinkedIn, put your LinkedIn link to your profile in there and listen to a podcast about yourself. It's gonna cheer you up. You're gonna feel like 100, yes, I need a raise now. So have a look at it. But it's super interesting to see what could be said. So within the announcements, also like there was Gemini CLI. If you're using Cloud Code, Gemini CLI, I'm not doing demos or anything. So if there's anything that's related to that, you can have a look. But it's basically free. It's open source, and you're able to just like go straight up in the CLI and start. You can ask for prompt, you can ask for a bunch of stuff. You're actually have access to Gemini 2.5 Pro. So you have access through like your user account, regular account, to 2.5 Pro through the CLI. But you're also able to integrate it with it, like VS Code. If you were like in CLI mode, you're able to leverage that. So have a look. And I'm just pausing on my 2 cents because like there's going to be like there's not much left, but right now there's so much, like every day there's something new. The proof I was writing doing the deck, there's always some like VO3, VO4, 5, 6. Oh, come on. So at one point you need to stop, but it's nice to be informed of everything that's happening right now, and it's changed on a almost like daily basis. It's also nice to know that okay, well, there's a lot of noise, but there's stuff that can actually help me. Like I was talking about like Gemini with Canvas, other stuff, like what can actually help me in my job, regardless of the platforms. Not to pitch the Google one. I live in Google, so that's what I do. But if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, you're good with Copilot and other things, no problem. But it's nice to actually be able to prioritize the tools that help you be better at what you do. So because every day is, all the guys from Anthropic, they came up with something new. And then tomorrow it's Mistral. And then the day after is another guy. And then Cohere came up with something. And then Google's coming back with 3.0 or something. So, okay, yeah, it's a better model. if you had issue with the current model you're using and you need more performance, might be a good idea to look at it. Doesn't mean that you have to drop everything and say, yeah, that's the new thing I have to focus on. So it's really important to look at what you're doing. Is there any tools that can actually make my job better and more efficient? And there is. And focus on that. Because that's a daily struggle of trying to kind of keep up and make sure you don't miss. I know there's going to be more after the pizza, but just QR codes everywhere. If there's security guy is going to freak out because QR codes are you don't know where I'm going to bring you. I'm going to bring you somewhere else. But yeah, the Gemini CLI, other tools that out there, Notebook 11 mentioned. Firebase Studio, Google AI Studio, they're going to be mentioned. Also, like Google AI Studio is a great place to do prototyping. You can create an app with just like vibe coding. Firebase Studio is basically Project IDX that just got rebranded. So it's a fully web-based IDE with Gemini in it, and then you're actually able to just push deploy. You have a full-fledged system there, so you don't need to. You actually don't need like a fat client or anything. Just to wrap things up, like on social, if you want to know more on the Google GDG Cloud Montreal itself, like we do regular events. Sometimes they're online, sometimes they're in person. Most of the time they're here. So you'll have the QR there. If you want to play with AI Studio or even Firebase Studio, the Google Developer Program in the middle is like, if you register there, it's also starting to give you access to some of those workspaces. So Firebase, you have like workspace, which are, let's say like a repo you can attach to. So you have like 10 for free, but just need to have like a Google Developer profile. If you want to join the Discord on GDG Cloud Montreal, you have the QR code there. We are hosted on the GDG Montreal one. You'll see a GDG Cloud Montreal public thread in there. And if you want to keep current on everything Google Cloud, there's a great blog post you can have a look at. And if you're interested in connected, I'm always open to connect with everybody. You have my link to my LinkedIn profile, top right. So I'll just leave it there if people want to scan or take a picture or whatever. And then we're good. Oui.
Interaction outside or exciting concerns.
Well, like anything else, like if you let's say you have an agent running on Azure and you have an agent running on GCP, like with agent to agent, you're able to make a bridge, but they'll be able to talk to each other technically, but you still need a bridge between the two, and that bridge, if it's MCP, if it's something else, then security becomes a concern. If you have already, and I don't want to go like on the deep networking on the Google side, but there's something, you have cross-cloud interconnect, which allows you to interconnect AWS, Azure, and GCP on private connection. So technically, then if you have something that's running in GCP wants to talk to Azure, then you don't go over the public internet, you go over to a private link. It's just giving you a safer way to get there. You still need to secure everything because you're exposing another platform. It's not just like a call to a simple application. So yeah, we're actually making a call to Azure, and then it's okay, what's going to happen there? Like anything else, the fact that we're doing AI there, or it was VM before, big data before, and then the next one's going to be AGI, security and cleanliness of data and security are going to be always there. You have to take that into account. And that goes for, especially for agentic AI, where it's like, I did a lab where basically it's, you're giving it just a few lines of information. It's basically creating you a scenario for a movie. But within that scenario, that flow, there's a critic where, say, I want I don't know, like I want a movie from, like based on Dune, blah, 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 then it starts giving me, okay, which actor? So, okay, well, this actor, like Timothée Chalamet is going to do blah, blah. Okay, fine. That's all it's asking me. Then it's looking at, I don't know, like what's actually the story behind Dune and everything. And as it actually writes the synopsis, it goes back to the critic, which is another agent that looks at, let's say, all the books that are there on Dune. Like, are you making stuff up? And until he's happy, the agents are actually interacting with each other until the output is yes, we're good. So like what's happening there? Well, you know what's happening, but like you need control, like anything else.
How long will it take for the security protocols to be available off the shelf? At this point, they have to be tailored for each and every application. You think within a year and a half, 2 years, that you'll have kind of say a suite of available APIs that implement these types of protocols.
But again, like the you wanna jump in?
You can't secure what you don't. So
That's the truth. That's the truth. Like you can't secure what you don't know. There's always something, and that's where like either you hope that from like the audits of security and everything, you're able to catch anti-patterns or anything weird within Security Command Center or other tools where say, okay, now we need to course correct, but you're always reacting because you didn't know what you didn't know.
all as a former pen tester, most tools, load balancing, WAF, any rules, they say that they protect, for example, against any type of data. But if you do double base 64 encoding or another more fancy way of encoding things, it completely goes through because it can't read what it can't read. And if it doesn't allow things that it can't read, it's going to block a lot of things from a lot of users.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking about security.
Yeah.
You have to know exactly.
So that's why after it's when the stuff happens because you didn't detect it that you can detect a pattern that goes off, but it's too late. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to thank you all for your time. And thank you. And pizza time.